Hello students, welcome to the English class again. Today, as I have told you yesterday, that we will be discussing the chapter, giving the explanation of the chapter Enemy. Enemy is chapter 4 from the Vistas. So let's start with the explanation. If you have the textbook in front of you, then please open it up. Okay, so let's start. Enemy by Pearl S. Buck. Yesterday in my PPT explanation, PPT presentation, I have already provided you with the theme of the story. So you are well acquainted that what is the story, what the story is about. Now regarding the explanation. So let's start. Dr. Sadao Hoki's house was built on a spot of the Japanese coast where, as a little boy, he had often played. The low square stone house was set upon rocks well above a narrow beach that was outlined with bent pines. As a boy, Sadao had climbed the pines, supporting himself on his bare feet, as he had seen men do in the South Seas, when they climbed for coconuts. His father had taken him often to the islands of those seas, and never had he failed to say to the little boy, brave boy at his side, "Those islands yonder, they are the stepping stones to the future for Japan." Now, in this paragraph, this is the first paragraph of the story. In this paragraph, the writer introduces the main character of the story, that is Dr. Sadao Hoki. Dr. Sadao's house was situated on the coast of Japan. He had been living there since his childhood. The house had a low height and was made of stone. It was set upon the rocky beach, which had a boundary line made with pine trees that were tilted towards one side. When Dr. Sadao was a child, he would climb up the pine trees. On his visits to the South Seas, he would see men do so in order to get coconuts from the trees. He would accompany his father to the islands of the South Seas often. His father would point towards the islands and would say that those were the stepping stones towards the future of Japan. Now, this line, okay, those islands yonder, they are the stepping stones to the future for Japan. Now this line is very important. What is the meaning of this line here? What exactly Sadao's father wanted to say to Sadao was that Japan had to explore its options outside of the country, okay, and produce talent well acquainted with the world to put Japan on the global map. Okay, that means no one can help Japan to have anything. It is Japan's own people only who can take Japan to its height, right? Okay. Where shall we step from them? Sadao had asked seriously. Who knows? His father had answered. Who can limit our future? It depends on what we make it. Now, what does it mean here? Now, Dr. Sadao would question his father very childishly that because he could not understand that this island, when his father said that these are the stepping stones, Sadao very childishly would ask that these stones would, if this is a stepping stones, then where would Japan go to? Means after walking on these stepping stones, where would Japan go to? And Sadao's father would reply that who knows? Who can limit our future? It depends on what we make it. Means he would reply that it is not known, as it is it is completely depending on the future. Okay, the future had no limits. Okay, it depended on mankind, on how it shaped its future. Okay, so it's completely dependent upon the people of Japan or the Japanese people. Now here there is another word which means yonder. What is the meaning of the term yonder? Yonder means to show, that there. Okay, it's a archaic English where it means there or that, right? Okay, let's proceed. Sadao had taken this into his mind as he did everything his father said. His father, who never joked or played with him, but who spent infinite pains upon him, who was his only son. Sadao knew that his education was his father's chief concern. For this reason, he had been sent at 22 to America to learn all that could be learned of surgery and medicine. He had come back at 30, and before his father died, he had seen Sadao become famous not only as a surgeon but as a scientist. Okay, now Sadao, in these few lines, we can find that Sadao is a very, what we can say, a very father-loving child. Okay, he is a very obedient boy. He listens to whatever his father says, right? So if we see here this particular line, that his father, who never joked or played with him, but who spent infinite pains upon him, who was his only son. Here, of course, it means that Sadao's father was very much serious about Sadao. Okay, that he never wanted that Sadao should look here and there, but should acquire the dream of Sadao's father. And of course, the dream of Sadao's father was to make Sadao a very well established man. Okay, one who will become well renowned in Japan. Okay, so Sadao knew that his education was his father's chief concern. For this reason, he had been sent at 22. So when Sadao was 22 years old, Sadao was sent to America, where he could learn about surgery and medicine. Okay. Now, after completing his medicinal studies from America, he returned back at the age of 30, and then before Sadao's father died, Sadao already became a very renowned doctor. Okay, and also a renowned scientist. Okay, now why a scientist? Because he was perfecting a discovery which would render wounds entirely clean. He had not been sent abroad with the troops. Also, he knew there was some slight danger that the old general might need an operation for a condition for which he was now being treated medically, and for this possibility Sadao was being kept in Japan. So before Sadao's father died, Sadao already had become a renowned doctor. Moreover, more than a renowned doctor, he became a very well-known scientist also. Now, why did he become a scientist? As it is given there, he was perfecting a discovery. He was doing a research on a particular medicine which, if applied, can immediately recover a wound. Okay. Now, yesterday I have already told you the setting of the story is Second World War. So, such kind of discovery where you can where a particular medicine can recover a wound and can immediately help any person to regain back his health. Okay, so this kind of medicine was very much important or vital in such kind of condition where world war was going on. So therefore the general of the country thought that Sadao should not go in. Now this particular line, if you see, here it is given, he had not been sent abroad with the troops. Okay, now one question comes very often in the board exam, that why Sadao was not sent to the war front along with the other troops. Now there are two reasons. What are the two reasons? Number one reason is that he was perfecting a discovery which would render wounds entirely clean. This is number one reason. And number two reason is that there was some slight danger that the old general might need an operation for a condition for which he was now being treated medically, and for this possibility Sadao was being kept in Japan. So these are the two reasons. So you also please underline in your textbook that for which two reasons Sadao was not sent in the war front along with the troops. Clear, everyone? So let's move forward. Let's proceed. Clouds were right. Now till this much we are getting the introduction of Sadao, that who was Sadao. So here we have till here that who was Sadao. Okay, or about Sadao we come to get a very close introduction. Now we will be moving towards the story, okay, of what exactly happened on that particular day. Clouds were rising from the ocean now. The unexpected warmth of the past few days had at night drawn heavy fog from the cold waves. Sadao watched mists hide outlines of a little island near the shore and then come creeping up the beach below the house, wreathing around the pines. Now, the story, the day when this particular incident have happened, or what the story is about, that particular day, it was a very hot day. The entire day, it was quite hot, and for the last few days also, it was going quite warm. So, as a result, as is the characteristic of Japanese climate, if for a stretch few days it remains quite hot, then what happens? Cold wave starts to come from the sea. Okay, now you know Japan is an island country and it is surrounded by sea, and Sadao's house was also very much near the sea. Okay, so some heavy fog was rising out from the sea and it was moving towards the shore area. And Sadao, he was standing on the balcony of his house and he was seeing that the fog from the sea was approaching towards the land, and very soon the fog will cover up the entire pine trees. Okay, in a few minutes fog would be wrapped about the house too, and after a few minutes the fog would also come inside the house and will cover the house too. Then he would go into the room where Hana, his wife, would be waiting for him with the two children. And when the fog will come very much near the house, then Sadao will enter the house. Inside the house, there is his wife Hana, and they have two children. But at this moment, the door opened and she looked out, a dark blue woolen haori over her kimono. So when Sadao was thinking that he would be entering the house, at that moment only Hana came out. Okay, and she opened the door and she was wearing a beautiful haori. What is a haori? Haori, as it is given over here, she looked out a dark blue woolen haori over her kimono. Haori means it's a loose outer garment worn over kimono, and kimono is a traditional Japanese garment. You all must be knowing about this. You must have seen Japanese women wearing haori and kimono, right? Okay. She came to him affectionately and put her arms through his as he stood, smiled and said nothing. He had met Hana in America, but he had waited to fall in love with her until he was sure she was Japanese. Okay, so before Sadao could go inside, the door opened and his wife looked out for him. He was wearing a dark blue colored gown over her dress. She lovingly crossed her arm with his, smiled at him, remained silent and stood by him. They had met in America. As it is being told here, he had met Hana in America, but he had waited to fall in love with her until he was sure she was Japanese. Okay, so until he was sure she was Japanese. This particular line I have explained you yesterday in the theme. Okay, here it is said that Sadao knew that his father would never accept any girl other than pure Japanese, right? So though they had met in America, but in order to and Sadao had fallen in love with this Hana at the first sight itself, but since Sadao knew that his father would marry him to a Japanese girl only, and so he ensured this before falling in love with her. Okay, so in order to make it sure that the Hana is completely Japanese. His father would never have received her unless she had been pure in her race. He wondered often whom he would have married if he had not met Hana, and by what luck he had found her in the most casual way. By chance, literally, at an American professor's house. The professor and his wife had been kind people, anxious to do something for their few foreign students, and the students, though bored, had accepted this kindness. Sadao had often told Hana how nearly he had not gone to Professor Harley's house that night. Okay, now here we are getting another thing that Sadao considers himself to be extremely lucky to have accidentally met Hana at an American professor's house. Right, he wondered that if he had not met her, he would not have got a wife, such kind of wife, in his whole life. He thought that he met Hana where in an American professor's house, and he thought that the professor and his wife were kind as they were keen to help the foreign students. Okay, but yes, the professor and his wife were quite irritating and boring in few respects too. Okay, he was glad that they had accepted this kindness and went to their house, because it was there that he met Hannah. Sada would often tell Hannah that it was mere coincidence. Okay, right. So if we go on, so Hannah, how nearly he had not gone to Professor Harley's house that night. The rooms were so small, the food so bad, the professor's wife so voluble. But he had gone there, he had found Hannah a new student, and had felt he would love her if it were at all possible. Okay, now why he would not like professor's house? If you see here, it is given over here. Sorry. That is, the rooms were small, the food so bad, the professor's wife so voluble. These are the reasons. What were the reasons why he would not like the professor's house? Because the rooms, okay, where the students used to meet there, the rooms were very small. Okay, the food that was provided by the professor and his wife, they did not taste well. Now here again, if you see very clearly, then the East-West conflict also come, where the Japanese people, they don't like the American food. Okay, so as a result, Sadao also did not like the American food that was served to them. So the food was terribly bad, and the professor's wife was very voluble. Voluble in the sense she was very talkative, right? Now he felt her hand on his arm and was aware of the pleasure it gave him, even though they had been married years enough to have the two children, for they had not married heedlessly in America. They had finished their work at school and had come home to Japan, and when his father had seen her, the marriage had been arranged in the old Japanese way. Although Sadao and Hana had talked about everything over beforehand, they were perfectly happy. She laid her cheek against his arm. So after they have completed their education, they returned back to Japan. Okay, now they are married many years. Still, Hana and Sadao love each other as they used to love in America. As they had fallen in love for the first time, they are still in love with each other. But though they love each other very much, though they think that they are very lucky to have each other as their company, okay, but Sadao did not marry in America. What would happen usually, especially we find with the Indians also, that they go to America, they fall in love with some of the lady, they get married there and they settle there. They hardly think it necessary to inform their parents in back to their country. But Sadao did not do so. Okay, Sadao, when he went to America, it was because of his father's wish. So he returned back at the age of 30. He returned back to Japan, and after coming to Japan, he told his father that he wants to marry Hana. Okay, and then Sadao's father did not immediately accept. He visited Hana. He saw Hana's parents. He saw their household. He liked Hana because they were also very much traditionally Japan, and thereby Sadao's father consented, and so Sadao and Hana was married. And how they were married? In old Japanese way. In a traditional Japanese way, they were married. So when I have yesterday discussed the theme, I have already told you that Sadao's father was traditionally Japanese. Okay, he is very much Japanese. His blood is very much Japanese. So thereby, where he was also staying in a room which was very much Japanese in its texture, similarly is the marriage ceremony also of Sadao, right? It was at this point that both of them saw something black come out of the mist. It was a man. He was flung up out of the ocean. Flung, it seemed, to his feet by a breaker. He staggered a few steps, his body outlined against the mist, his arms above his head. Then the curled mist hid him again. Okay, so now till this particular line, again we are getting the past or history of Sadao. Okay, that Sadao, where he was, okay, that in America he met Hana, what happened to him, how he came back. Okay, all this history of Sadao we are getting till here, and from this particular line our our story starts, right? So at that particular moment when Hana and Sadao were having their arms together and they were thinking about their past and how they met each other, it was at this particular moment when suddenly what happened, they found, as I have already told you before, or as it is already told in the story before, that cold waves was creating fog upon the sea, and this fog was encroaching the shore area, right? So here also we find that the entire shore area was covered with mist, from where they could find a very little black figure was coming towards the shoreline. Okay, now when they looked very carefully, they found that this particular black figure is actually a human being, a man. Okay, and this man was suddenly, a huge sea wave had thrown the man into the seashore. Okay, not thrown, but we can say it means it is something like literally flung the man into the seashore. Okay, so it seemed to his feet by a breaker. He staggered a few steps, his body outlined against the mist, his arms above his head. Then the curled mist hit him again. So he was there was some kind of breaker, and he went in there. There was a kind of some stones. He stampered on the stones, and he was thrown into the shore. Okay, and the entire mist covered the man. "Who is that?" Hana cried. She dropped Sadao's arm and they both leaned over the railing of the veranda. So Hana and Sadao, they suddenly looked into the man and they dropped each other's arms and they leaned over the veranda in order to see that who this man is. Now, from such far away, they could not identify the man. They could only understand that this is a man. Okay. Now they saw him again. The man was on his hands and knees crawling. Then they saw him fall on his face and lie there. And then they found that this man, he was crawling on his hand and knees, and then this man fell onto the ground, onto the shore. Okay, his face onto the means he was lying on the backside and his face was onto the shore. "A fisherman, perhaps," Sadao said, washed from his boat. He ran quickly down the steps, and behind him Hana came, her white sleeves flying. A mile or two away on either side there were fishing villages, but here was only the bare and lonely coast, dangerous with rocks. The surf beyond the beach was spiked with rocks. Somehow the man had managed to come through them. He must be badly torn. So what exactly happened is that since they were far away, they could not identify the man, but they thought that maybe it is a fisherman, because Sadao's house was located in a place where on either two sides of the shore there were fishing villages. So they thought that maybe this is also a fisherman, and maybe he had been washed away from his boat, and so he was thrown into the shore. Okay, so Hana and Sadao both came running out of the house, and they went towards this man. A mile or two away on either side there were fishing villages. So they thought it naturally that maybe it is a fisherman. Okay, and so they ran towards this man, and this man, they were thinking that this man must be badly torn. Badly torn means maybe very badly wounded. They saw when they came towards him that indeed it was so. The sand on one side of him had already a stain of red soaking through. So as they have thought, so it appeared. When they came near the man, they found that just by the side of the man, the entire sand area was completely soaked with blood, the blood of the man. "He is wounded," Sadao exclaimed. He made haste to the man, who lay motionless, his face in the sand, an old cap stuck to his head, soaked with seawater. He was in wet rags of garments. Sadao stopped, Hana at his side, and turned the man's head. They saw the face. "A white man," Hana whispered. So they immediately leaned down, and they found that this man was completely wounded. Okay, and Sadao, since he was a doctor, he he did his actions very quickly. He kneeled down and he looked towards the man. Right, and here they found an old cap stuck to his head, soaked with seawater. So they were wondering that who this man is. Okay, right. So there was an old cap that was stuck outside the head of this man, right? And he was in a garment, wet rags of garment. Wet rags of garment means he was in a uniform. Okay, now Sadao stopped Hana at his side and turned the man's head. So Sadao stopped. Sadao and Hana was now a little bit afraid because an old cap. Okay, the man is in garment. Okay, now these kind of things which are indicating something else, it shows that of course this man is not a fisherman, right? So Sadao stopped. Hana was by his side, and then Sadao turned the man's head, and they saw the face of the man, and immediately Hana whispered that yes, it is a white man. Okay, now since it was the World War time, any white man on the shore or nearby the house is quite dangerous. As I have told you yesterday in the theme also, that during the war time, people don't even trust their own countrymen. A countryman mistrusts their other countrymen also. So if they carry a white man, or if they are being seen nearby a white man also, then immediately there are spies around. The news will reach the ruling party, and that may mean that Sadao and Hana can be arrested, can be jailed, can be hanged to death. Many things can happen. Okay. Yes, it was a white man. The wet cap fell away, and there was his wet yellow hair, long as though for many weeks it had not been cut, and upon his young and tortured face was a rough yellow beard. He was unconscious and knew nothing that they did for him. So it was of course a white man. A wet cap was there which fell apart, and his yellow hair could be seen. Okay, so it is understood that he is not at all Japanese. He is either a European or an American, most probably. Okay, and upon his young and tortured face was a rough yellow beard. He was unconscious and knew nothing that they did for him. So Sadao, this young man, he was having a very rough face. Though his face looked that he is very young, but it is found that his face was quite tortured. Okay, the rough yellow beard have also grown up. He was unconscious, and he does not know, he could not even understand that what was exactly happening to him, because he was lying totally unconscious. So what Sadao and Hana was doing for him, he was completely unaware of that. I hope students that you have understood till this much. In one video, it is there is a capacity we can do only for a few lines. So we have done till here, knew nothing that they did for him. Okay, because this is a very long chapter. All right. So we will explain. I will explain the chapter part wise. Right. I have underlined few of the lines. Please go through those lines. Okay, and see those lines are very much important. Right, and in my next video I will be explaining the remaining few part of the chapter, and accordingly I will also tell which lines are important. Okay, so I hope students you have understood till this much. So wait for my next video where I am going to explain the next few lines. Right, thank you everyone.